Hello, everybody. So we're going to start the webinar right now. I guess you can see my screen. Well, if it's not the case, you will see it soon. Jeffrey, can you confirm you can see my screen?
All good.
Okay, all good. Let's start. So, okay. So let's go. So welcome to our webinar. The topic of today is all formats and imports you can have in Steel Projects PLM. I'm Colin Mayman, the sales director of the company. The duration will be around 25 to 30 minutes. If you have questions, there is a chat box up there. Okay, introduction. So that is a chart of our software, of all the modules of our software, with all the features available in our software. So today we're going to focus on the number 1, which is import of the detailing office, and number 7, which is interfaces with external software, just to show you how we can import some with an import called PNI, some data coming from third-party software. So talking about import from the detailing office, there is 2 kinds of import. The first one is a standard CAD import. Well, you all know those kind of imports is DXF coming from AutoCAD, DSTV or NC file, which is generated by mainly all the software around the world, the CAM file, the Excel. And so those one are historical and traditional format, but it's limited because when we import those CAD file, we import a project with a bunch of components in front. We don't import assembly, we don't import phases, we just import project, bunch of components. And we've got advanced import, which are the BIM imports, the XML from Tekla, which has been developed by ourselves with Tekla, together with Tekla, the IFC, which is available in Tekla, but also in Advanced Steel, in SDS2, in other kind of software. And step file. We did develop a way to import a step file, which is way better than before, where you needed to import components by component. It was quite manual. Now we have got a way to import a full project, which will be a kind of BIM import. The advantages of the BIM import is only one unique file, the full structure, the project, the phases, the assembly, secondary parts. Well, we can see in PLM the 3D model when we import a BIM file like that, scribing, optimization, and so on. Last but not least, we will see how to import some PNI files from external software, from third-party software. So we've got a way to interface with third-party software. We did develop this PNI import, and we can import nesting, plate nesting, bar nesting. We can import components. We can import stock. Well, we'll see that later. Okay, we already did make some third-party interface with Stromis, with Tekla PowerFab, with Control Steel, with Lentex, Sigma-NES, SAP, IBM, Dynamics 365, and so on. Okay, now I will jump in PLM. Okay, so when you're in PLM, well, you've got the list of import here, which is available. You can import the project from Project Manager or in Production Manager, depending on which module you use yourself. Here I will import into Project Manager. It's exactly the same in Production Manager. So, okay, let's do it like that. So first of all, I will import the classical DSTV NC file. Easy, you select your DSTV file from your imports. Okay, here it is. I've got a bunch of NC files. So DSTV and NC file is the same. Click OK. And it's importing automatically all my DSTV file. Okay, so there's nothing complicated here. And once again, it's a CAD file. So what we will have is a project and components in front. Okay, nearly done. Here we are. So I've got my project here, 03451. Well, if I go on drawing, no drawing. If I go on assembly, no assemblies, as I was talking before. But if I go on components, then I will have all the components belonging to this project, okay? So we can see them in 2D. We've got angles, we've got plate here. We've got H-beam, which are W in US, and so on. Okay, tubes. Okay, easy. Well, nothing more to say on this one. Then we have a DXF DWG import, which is mainly generated by AutoCAD. So this one, I will select it here, DXF DWG. So we did improve the way to import these files like 2 years ago. So now we can do it semi-automatic way. It's not perfect, but it's quite good. So did I select it? Yeah, okay, import DXF, no, this one. Sorry, import here. Here, okay, so here I've got 4 components. I will click on OK. So it's opening a window like that. In this window, I've got my four items here with a red flag telling me that it's impossible to import, because before to import, I need to put the name of the project, the name of a drawing, a quantity, a profile. So here I will see the profile name. Okay, we import components by components. We cannot import an assembly, but component by components. So here I can see it's a C5 by 9. So I will click here. I will say C5. So it's here, C5 by 9. I will have to look the material grade here. So I will put the material grade corresponding, which is this one, and the scale here. Don't forget the scale. Scale is 1 here by default, but here it's 25.4. Okay. So once that is done, then you will select all the top flange, all the web, all the bottom flange. You will say, okay, selection. I will select the top flange. I will say it's the top flange. And now I don't have more icons here telling me I can import it. I will do the same for the plate. Okay. So it's a plate 8 by 05. So I will say, okay, here, plate 8 by 029, sorry, material grade, done, scale 25.4, okay. Then I will select here and tell it to web, done. UL shape, which is a U profile, same way, okay? So it's a UL 8 by 6 by 1, so same way, UL 8 by 6 by 1, it's here, okay, select it, material grade, scale, done. Okay, now I will select here, tell it's a web, done. And the last one, which is a W shape, W6 by 9, okay, same way. I can type it directly here, okay? I don't have to open this one. If I know, I can say W6 by 9. Okay, tag, material grade 25 by 4, done. I will select, for example, the bottom flange. Here we are, bottom flange, done. So now it's okay, I can import it in PLM. So when we import it in PLM, we'll see those shape back in PLM in 3D. Okay, so with my, it's called Webinar DXF here. If I go on components, I've got my components here in 3D, okay? My U profile, my plate, my angles, and my W. Okay, done. Okay, now let's import some Excel. Okay, we can import some Excel file, some Excel sheet with some components in it. So I will click here on Excel. I will browse here in my computer an Excel sheet with some information inside. Click on OK. It's quite automatical. You've got some parameter to set up in the option, in the importation option. But once it's done correctly, I will import from an Excel sheet some components. Okay. So if I look at it here, it's an H-beam, a plate. What do we have here? Another H-beam and so on. So that's coming from an Excel sheet. Okay. So once again, when you import those type of CAD file, there's no assembly, there's no drawing. It's just a project and a bunch of components in front. Okay. Okay, that is for the Excel file. talking about the CAM file, we can import CAM file also. So here I will click on CAM, import. Okay, CAM file here. So CAM file is also very convenient. There's nothing manual to do as a DXF one. It's like Excel, like the DSTV. It's just quite automatical. So we will import CAM file, and those CAM files are on cheese here. There are some on cheese, but not only. If I look at it, here I've got a W plus some on cheese down there. Okay. So you see, it's quite fast, quite easy. It's a classical way to import in PLM. Okay. So that's about we can import other CAD file like AproMath coming from Werner Machine. But okay, I won't show everything. I'm just showing the most popular one. Now we are talking about the BIM file. Okay, the BIM file once again allows to import all the architecture of a project with all the information inside. So if I go here in Tekla, I'm opening Tekla. I will speak first about the Tekla XML import. Okay, so we did develop a long time ago a macro available in Tekla called the XML macro. And when you will export a project like this one with this XML macro, you will export everything: the project, all the phases, all the assemblies, all the components, the scribing line, the marking, everything will be generated in one unique file. So in Tekla here, if you click here and you type XML, you've got the XML macro of Steel Project here. Or I have a shortcut here myself. So if you click here, the software, the Tekla will open our macro and will propose to export all the model or a selection of the model. It's up to you. So I won't do it live here because I did it this morning already and it took like 2 minutes, so I don't want to waste too much time. But clicking on OK will generate an XML file of this project. To import it in PLM, it's very easy. You go on Import, Tekla. You will browse in PLM your Tekla model. So it's called Feature Open House 2015 August. So it's here. So I will pick my XML and I can see that it has been generated this morning. Okay. It's one file with everything inside. Clicking on OK, I will import it in PLM. Okay, so I will call it webinar XML. Okay, so I'm importing it right now. So you can use it's two or three clicks in Tekla and 2 or 3 clicks in PLM to import all these projects in one unique file. Okay. Okay, done. So it's up there now. It's called Webinar XML. So here I've got phase 1. It's drawn in one phase here. I don't have more than one phase, but if I go on assembly, I will see a bunch of assemblies here. And I can see my assembly in 3D, of course. So you can see an assembly in 3D here. Okay. I can see the other one here, C1, for example, which is a column, C2, another one, B14, and so on. If I go on B9, for example, I will see, if I click on components, I will see all the components belonging to B1. So F27, F26, F25, M19, okay? So I know which components belong to which assembly or which assembly is made of which component. If I go directly here on components, and I want to know from which assembly it's belonging to, I just have to make click right, distribution here, and I will see it belongs to assembly B11. I click here, it's opening me assembly B11, okay? So, well, once again, we know the architecture of the project. We know what it's made of, and we know all the scribing information also. So you can, in Tekla, draw the scribing information, but we can also in PLM generate our own scribing information. If we look at assembly B9 again, if we look at my main master part, sorry, so we can see that we've got scribing line here, which secondary components will be welded. It's full line. If I go in assembly B9 and I click right, and I ask, okay, tool, adding scribing, I can customize the scribing line. So I can say, okay, I want it partial line, not all of them. As you can see here, I will say apply on all, okay. And now we'll see that the scribing line that were full before will be customized on my main beam. Okay, so if I go there, I zoom. So now what do I see? The beginning, the end. So I don't have the full line. I can even scribe the name of the components that should be welded here. And I have a matchmaker here, not to weld it upside down. This matchmaker, I will find it here on piece F26, the same. So you cannot weld upside down. Okay, that said, it's in fact, when we import a beam file, whether it's an IFC or a step file, we can generate directly in PLM the scribing lines because we know all the assembly and we know what should be welded and where. One other thing I want to show you is if I click right here, drawing, preview, I will see exactly the same model I've got in Tekla. I will see it back in PLM here, okay? So I can see it in PLM, and when we've got some production feedback from the workshop with color codes, those color codes will be moving in this Tekla model. Okay, now let's talk about the IFC, okay? So if I go back in Tekla, I will change the model here. I will take another one. Okay, this one. So Tekla can generate IFC, but loads of other software can generate IFC now. So IFC is kind of our XML. It's a bit weaker, I would say, but it's quite nice, to be honest. And this IFC is available in other software, okay? I know we've got it in Advanced Steel, in other software, but I will do the demo from Tekla because I've got Tekla open here. So you go there, you say export IFC. You will say, okay, it will be called, it will go on my desk on the IFC here, and it will be called IFC webinar. Okay. So you have to, here it's export type coordination view. You must select steel fabrication view and not coordination view, okay? To import it in PLM, it must be steel fabrication view always. We will select all the objects here, and well, here we will take off the bolt and the reinforcing bars. That done, you go and export, and it will generate an IFC. My IFC is here now. Okay, I just did it now. So I will import it in PLM. IFC, imports, so it's on my desk. So it's here, desk, IFC. Okay, it's here. Click on OK. And the software will import the IFC. So it's a live demo, and that's why there's a bit of time to import. It's not something which is register or a video. It's a live demo. That's why we have to wait for importing time. That's why I'm using also small models. Otherwise, it will take too much time. Okay, done. So if I go there now, I've got my IFC webinar. I can go on my components. Okay, I will see all my components here. Okay. If I go, I can see my assemblies here, column, of course. Okay, so once again, I can generate scribing line as I did before for those beams. It's not generated here, but I could do it as I did it before. And if I go on my model, make click right, draw, preview, I will see, well, this model here, back in PLM. Okay. So that was for the IFC. And the last beam model we have is a step one. So the step has been improved like 6 months ago or 1 year ago in PLM. I think it's from version 2022. Before importing a step file was quite difficult. It was components by components. You had to fill information, and it was not convenient at all. Now we can import one file, one step file, which will be a project. So if I click here and go on step here, so I've got this step. It's in French, but anyway, it's an assembly. I will click on OK. So the software will open a window, like for the DXF. If I click here, I will see, sorry, the assembly entirely with all the components there. Okay. I will just have to input the material grade, okay, which is this one. I will apply on all, and then it's ready to import. I will say okay. And my assembly will be imported. So it's called the webinar step stairs, but anyway, if I go on assembly, I will see it. Okay, as we saw before, with all the components. So let me import just another one, which is a bit heavier. So sorry for the delay in importing, but it's stairs. Where is my step? Here. So here, stairs, this one, okay. It's a bit heavier, it would take a bit more time, but just for you to see that we can import not only an assembly, but let's say an entire project also. Doing that, waiting for the importation, I can show you, if you remember, I did import an Excel, some Excel file with components inside. I just want to show you what the Excel file looks like, because it was a question of this morning webinar. So it's in French, but anyway. So the Excel file is around somewhere here. So it looks like that, okay? So that is the Excel file I did import with everything in it. So I've got the phase, I've got the quantity, the kind of the type of profile, the quantity here, another type of profile, material grade, length, weight, what is it, what it belongs to. So you have, of course, to settle in the import all the right things to be adjusted to the column and everything as usual when you import an Excel file. But the Excel file I've imported looks this one, okay? Look like that, sorry. So waiting for the step to be imported. It's a bit long, sorry again. So the one I'm importing now is a stair. You will see how it looks like. Just to show you that we can import big files with step. Okay, nearly done. Okay. So once again, we've got our window here. So the stair is here. Okay, so you can see it here. So the same thing, we will just, okay, give a material grade. Well, I will apply on all here. So we've got components with mistake here because, for example, those fences, we won't import it. Those one here also, because we need to improve also our step file. It's new. It's much better than it was. We will import all the structural steel, like all the beams, but some things like the fences or the banded plates won't be imported yet. Okay, but that will be for the future improvement. But anyway, I can import it like that. So if I import it in PLM, okay. Okay. Okay, done. So now it's this one, and I can see that I've got a lot of components now, which are making my stair. Okay, I can see it in preview here, of course. And I will be able to see my stair also here. If I click right, draw, preview, and I will be able to generate scribing line as we told before with the XML and the IFC. So here's, I was telling you, we don't have the stairs. Well, the stairs, I don't know if it's called the stairs, but we are missing the path here, the fences, but all the steel structure is here with the assembly. So we will improve the step import. As I was telling you, it's much better. It's way better than before because we can import a project. Of course, we have missing parts, but that will be improved in the future. Okay. Last but not least, let's talk about the P&I. So we did develop with internally an interface with third-party software. This interface is called the P&I interface. It's a way to communicate with ERP, stock and purchasing software, any kind of third-party software that want to connect to PLM. We usually import some components, we import some nestings, which has been done yet in another software. We import some stock before to make a nesting. So here, if I want to import components coming from another software, I will click on P&I here, and I will say import P&I. So here it's component coming from Strumis. So I will click on OK, and I will import some components, not from a drawing software, but from another software. Okay, so the P&I has been imported here. So it's a project called S552. If I go on components, well, I will see all the components of this project made of tubes, mainly coming from Strumis software, okay? But I can also import some nesting. So if I go in fabrication job here, I can import already done nesting from third-party software for whatever reason, but I can do it. So I will go on P&I here. I will import a P&I, it's a beam. Okay, it's a nest of beam. So once again, I don't have to make the nesting here in PLM. The nesting is imported as done and can be sent on the machine like it is. Or you can redo the nesting in PLM if you want to. So it's here. If I open the nesting here, I've got my components, but also the nesting which has been already done. Okay, so here we've got the nesting which has been done in another software and has been imported as nested. Okay, you could also import some stock from an ERP. If you keep your stock in an ERP, for example, we can interface with this ERP to import some stock before to make a nesting in PLM. Okay, so there's multiple possibility with the PNI. It's a standard format that we did develop. It needs some development on the third-party software. So it needs a bit of development in the ERP or whatever when you want to interface it with it. But once it's done, you can communicate to input and output data in PLM or out of PLM. Okay, so I think it's the end of our webinar. It lasts nearly 30 minutes. I guess you like it. So if you've got questions or if you've got remarks or if you want more to know more, please contact us on our website or on my email address. This webinar will be available on our website soon. If you want to review it, that's it for me today. So I thank you very much for watching the webinar and I wish you a good day. Thank you very much. Bye.